Welcome to the third domain of the ECC, Cybersecurity Resilience. As we have previously discussed, the ECC is a comprehensive framework that helps organizations in Saudi Arabia protect their systems and information from cyber threats. So far, we have covered the first two domains of governance and defense. Today, we will be discussing the importance of including cybersecurity resiliency in business continuity management. This domain is all about ensuring that the organization is prepared to handle and recover from cybersecurity incidents that may affect the continuity of its operations. From developing response plans to testing disaster recovery scenarios, this domain is crucial for maintaining the organization's overall cybersecurity posture. Let's dive in and learn more about how to meet the requirements of this important domain. It's important to ensure that the organization's business continuity management (BCM) plans include measures to address and mitigate the risks associated with cybersecurity incidents. This includes developing response plans and disaster recovery plans specifically for cybersecurity incidents that may affect the organization's operations. Control 3.1.1. To achieve the requirement of 3.1.1, the organization should define and document the cybersecurity requirements for BCM. This should include identifying the critical systems, data and processes that are essential to the organization's operations and ensuring that they are included in the BCM plans. One way to meet the requirement of 3.1.1 is to develop a comprehensive cybersecurity business continuity plan, CBCP, that outlines the organization's approach to maintaining continuity of critical cybersecurity systems and procedures in the event of a disruption. This plan should be developed in collaboration with the organization's existing business continuity management (BCM) team, and should take into account the unique requirements and risks associated with maintaining cybersecurity resilience. In order to define and document the CBCP, the organization should identify its critical cybersecurity systems and procedures, and assess the potential impact of disruptions to these systems on the organization's overall operations. This can be done through a risk assessment process, which should be regularly reviewed and updated to take into account any changes to the organization's cybersecurity posture. Once the risks and impact of disruptions have been identified, the organization can develop specific strategies and procedures for maintaining continuity of critical cybersecurity systems. This might include measures such as developing incident response plans for cyber attacks and other cybersecurity incidents, implementing disaster recovery plans to restore critical systems and data in the event of a disruption, establishing procedures for maintaining communication and coordination with key stakeholders during a disruption, identifying and maintaining redundant systems and infrastructure to minimize the impact of disruptions. Tools and technology that can be used to support the development and implementation of a CBCP include business continuity planning software, which can help to document and manage the organization's CBCP, risk management software, which can be used to assess and track the organization's cyber risks. Incident management software, that can help to manage and track incidents response and recovery activities. Ultimately, the CBCP should be reviewed and tested on a regular basis to ensure its effectiveness and to identify any areas for improvement. It is also important to ensure that all employees are aware of the CBCP and understand their roles and responsibilities in the event of a disruption. Control 3.1.2. In order to meet the requirement of 3.1.2, the organization should implement the cybersecurity requirements for BCM by incorporating them into the existing BCM plans and procedures. This may include updating incident response plans, disaster recovery plans, and testing procedures to include specific measures for addressing cybersecurity incidents. Implementing the cybersecurity requirements for business continuity management involves developing and implementing policies, procedures, and protocols that ensure the organization's systems, networks, and data are protected and can be recovered quickly in the event of a disaster or other unplanned event. This includes identifying and assessing potential risks, such as natural disasters, power outages, and cyber attacks, and developing response plans to address them. One example of a use case for implementing the cybersecurity requirements for business continuity management is a company that has a web application that processes sensitive customer data. In this scenario, the company would need to have a disaster recovery plan in place that includes procedures for backing up and restoring the web application and its data in the event of a cyber attack or other disaster. This might involve using a cloud-based backup and recovery solution, such as AWS or Azure, and regularly testing the recovery process to ensure it is effective. Make sure the data hosted in Saudi Arabia. The company might also use a security information and event management SIEM tool to monitor for and detect potential cyber threats, as well as incident response software to help quickly contain and recover from a security incident. Additionally, the company should also have a business continuity plan and incident response plan, which should be regularly updated and tested. Overall, the key is to have a comprehensive and well-planned business continuity management strategy in place that addresses the cybersecurity aspect of it, to ensure that the organization's systems and data are protected and can be quickly recovered in the event of a disaster or other unplanned event. Control 313. Let's first talk about 3131. The organization should ensure that the continuity of cybersecurity systems and procedures is maintained in the event of a disaster. This may include developing procedures for maintaining secure communications and access to critical systems, as well as procedures for restoring and reconfiguring cybersecurity systems following a disaster. One way to meet the requirement of 3131, ensuring the continuity of cybersecurity systems and procedures, is to implement a disaster recovery plan, DRP, that specifically addresses cybersecurity incidents. This plan should include procedures for maintaining the availability, integrity, and confidentiality of data and systems in the event of a cybersecurity incident. This can include measures such as creating and regularly updating backups of critical data and systems, as well as procedures for restoring them in the event of an incident. Additionally, it can include measures such as having a team in place that is trained and equipped to handle cybersecurity incidents and procedures for communicating with stakeholders during and after an incident. One example of a use case would be a cyber attack on an organization's network. In this scenario, the DRP should outline steps to take to contain the attack, such as disconnecting affected systems from the network, as well as procedures for restoring systems and data from backups. The plan should also include procedures for communicating with stakeholders, such as customers, partners, and regulators, to keep them informed and mitigate damage to the organization's reputation. In terms of technology and tools, a DRP for cybersecurity incidents can involve a variety of solutions such as security incident and event management, SIEM, systems that allow for real-time monitoring and analysis of security events, as well as backup and recovery software to ensure that critical data and systems can be restored in the event of an incident. Additionally, organizations can also use tools such as business continuity planning, BCP, software to help manage and automate the DRP process. For Control 3132, the organization should develop response plans for cybersecurity incidents that may affect the business continuity. This includes identifying the most likely types of incidents and determining the steps that need to be taken to respond to them, such as containing the incident, mitigating the impact, and restoring normal operations. Developing response plans for cybersecurity incidents that may affect business continuity is a critical aspect of business continuity management. It involves identifying potential cybersecurity incidents that could disrupt the operations of the organization, and then developing procedures and processes to respond to those incidents in a timely and effective manner. One approach to developing response plans for cybersecurity incidents is to conduct a risk assessment to identify the types of incidents that are most likely to occur, and then develop response plans for each type of incident. For example, a financial organization may be most at risk of a data breach, so the incident response plan for a data breach should be a priority. To develop a response plan for a specific incident, you would need to first identify the incident and then determine the impact it would have on the organization. After identifying the incident, you would then develop the procedures and processes that need to be put in place to respond to it. These procedures should include incident response procedures, communication plans, and procedures for restoring normal operations. In terms of technology and tools, there are many solutions available to help organizations develop and manage incident response plans. One popular tool is the incident management software, which can help organizations track and manage incidents, assign tasks and responsibilities, and communicate with stakeholders. Another important tool is the incident response plan template, which can be used to quickly and easily develop incident response plans. It's also important to have an incident response team which should be composed of employees from different departments in the organization to ensure that all aspects of the incident response are covered. Regular training and testing of incident response plans will ensure that the team and the organization are prepared to respond to an incident in a timely and effective manner. To meet the requirement of 3133, the organization should develop disaster recovery plans specifically for cybersecurity incidents. This includes identifying the critical systems and data that need to be recovered, determining the recovery priorities, and developing procedures for restoring systems and data in the event of a disaster. When it comes to developing disaster recovery plans, One important aspect to consider is having a clear understanding of the organization's critical systems and data, and identifying the potential risks and impacts to those systems in the event of a disaster. This includes identifying the critical systems and data that are essential to the organization's operations and determining the maximum tolerable downtime for each of those systems. Once the critical systems and data have been identified, a disaster recovery plan can be developed that outlines the steps that will be taken to restore those systems and data in the event of a disaster. This can include details on the procedures for recovering systems and data, the technologies and tools that will be used for recovery, and the roles and responsibilities of different teams and individuals during the recovery process. One example of a technology that can be used for disaster recovery is a disaster recovery as a service (DRaaS) solution. DRaaS solutions typically include a range of features such as data replication, failover, and failback capabilities, which can help organizations to quickly and efficiently recover their critical systems and data in the event of a disaster. Another example is using cloud-based backup solutions that can store the data in a remote location and can be used to quickly restore the data in case of a disaster. It is also important to regularly test and update the disaster recovery plan to ensure that it remains effective and that all stakeholders are familiar with the procedures. Documenting the plan and providing regular training can help to ensure that all employees understand their roles and responsibilities in the event of a disaster. Finally, to meet the requirement of 3.1.4, the organization should review the cybersecurity requirements for BCM periodically to ensure they are still effective and to update them as necessary to reflect changes in the organization's operations or the threat landscape. It's important to regularly review and update the organization's business continuity management plans to ensure that they are still effective in the event of a cybersecurity incident. This includes regularly reviewing and testing incident response plans, disaster recovery plans, and other procedures to ensure that they are still relevant and effective. Additionally, it's important to regularly review and update the organization's cybersecurity systems and procedures to ensure that they are still effective in protecting the organization from cyber threats. One example of a tool that can be used to assist with this process is a business impact analysis (BIA) tool. A BIA tool can be used to identify and assess the potential impact of a cybersecurity incident on the organization's critical business functions and processes. This can help the organization to prioritize its recovery efforts and to ensure that the most critical systems and processes are restored first. Additionally, a BIA tool can be used to identify the resources and personnel that will be required to restore the organization's operations in the event of an incident. Another example of a tool that can be used to assist with this process is a risk management framework (RMF) tool. An RMF tool can be used to assess the organization's cybersecurity posture and to identify areas where additional controls or procedures may be needed to improve the organization's resilience to cyber threats. Additionally, an RMF tool can be used to track the organization's compliance with relevant cybersecurity standards and regulations, such as the ECC. Overall, it is important to have a well-defined process for reviewing and updating the organization's business continuity management plans, as well as for regularly reviewing and updating the organization's cybersecurity systems and procedures. This can help to ensure that the organization is well prepared to respond to and recover from a cybersecurity incident.